Most people don't remember the day UNICEF was created. It was 1946, and the United Nations General Assembly wanted to provide emergency food and health care to children in countries devastated by World War II. UNICEF is still around today. The UN program furnishes long-term humanitarian and developmental assistance to millions of children and mothers in more than 190 countries. This week on Full Frame, we'll meet three of UNICEF's celebrity ambassadors. They'll tell us how they use their fame and fortune to advocate on behalf of the world's most vulnerable citizens. I'm Mike Walter, coming to you from the heart of New York City's vibrant Times Square. Let's take it full frame. Angelique Kidjo is a Grammy Award-winning singer, songwriter, and activist. Her creativity and unique musical style has captivated audiences all around the world. She combines elements of diverse genres. In fact, this Benin-born artist is widely known for pushing her creativity to the next level. Universally regarded as one of the world's most influential African artists, Angelique has used her global status as a performer as a platform for change. In 2002, she was named a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador. 5 years later, in 2007, she founded the Batonga Foundation. That's a nonprofit that aims to provide secondary and higher education for girls in Africa. Angelique also advocates for a number of other causes, including human rights and women's rights, and has worked in the communities of several countries across Africa. Along the way, she's captured about every award in existence. Recently, the World Economic Forum handed her the 2015 Crystal Award. The Guardian newspaper lists her as one of the top 100 most inspiring women in the world. There's a good chance you'll agree once you've had a chance to listen to her. She joins us now to share her story about music and activism. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, Michael.
100 most inspiring. Just talking to your husband, probably 100 most exhausting, too. I'm just listening to your schedule. You're talking to us today, but later you're going to be going and seeing this little band. Some people may have heard of them, and I think the singer himself sent a little invitation for you to come out and see. So what are you doing later this evening?
Later I'm going to see the U2. I love the whole band, and Bono is a friend of mine, of course, but I like a lot the way The Edge play the guitar. I like the combination of their music, actually. You know, it's rock and roll, but you know the root is back in Ireland.
Yeah, well, and the only reason why I bring that up, because it segues nicely into what you just finished. You were with the San Francisco Symphony. So this, I think, gives the full range and why you are so unique. I mean, your music is all over the place, and the stylings, it's very, very creative. I mean, what inspires you? And is there anything you won't try, I guess is the question.
Well, I think that music has given me, since I was a child, in a home of 10 children and everybody having their own agenda, this and that, to center myself and to have a window to the world. And my father and mothers have made sure that we all have access to music, to sport, to book, and always urge us to go out there and meet other people. One of my father's phrases, your brain is not a plate of spaghetti, you gotta eat it. Just use it, and use it wise. It's a weapon, your ultimate weapon. If it's linked to your heart, whatever you do then touch people. So music for me is a language of peace, it's the language of love, and I was gifted with it when I was born. I didn't ask for it. And the voice for me is the mirror of the soul. If you are able to mirror anyone's souls through your voice, they can see themselves and empower themselves. we makon batonga, batonga, baton, batonga, batonga. Lile gogoto we makon, oh lile alimeto we makon batonga, batonga, batonga. I want people to jump, come on, jump with me.
Constantly growing as an artist? Because you know, we talked about how diverse you are, and the fact that you just performed with the symphony. I mean, it just seems like it's boundless.
Music is boundless, boundaryless, colorless, languageless, is universal. And as an artist, I like to challenge myself. I like to stretch my voice. I like to see how far I'm able to go and the possibilities. I'm a person of opportunities and possibilities. There might be walls around you. You might hit a wall. You might walk to difficulties. But as long as you are confident that you have the capacity of solving problems, you can make choices and stick to the choices and move forward. It's the key to everything. And music has brought me to that. When you're writing a song, right? You are inspired, and the song is there. The core of it is there in that inspiration. Now you have to nourish that inspiration. It comes in with the instrumentation. You have to know when you stop. Otherwise, that beauty that comes through your inspiration is diluted, is lost. So for me, music has taught me how to live with other people, how to do what I do with the symphonic orchestra in San Francisco. Those two worlds are not against each other. They are one world. There's only one music. And the music of my ancestors from Africa have penetrated and nourished and nurtured the music we listen to today everywhere on the planet.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel more of a responsibility because you have this platform to speak out? I mean, talk to me about your work with UNICEF and how you first got involved in this and how it's grown. I mean, talking to your husband, you've become a voice for the entire continent, whether you like it or not. In a sense, you are. I mean,
I didn't ask for it, but it becomes a fact. I think that becoming the person that I become, I could not become this person because if my father and mom was not the person that they were. And also because my father always used to say to us, your skin color don't matter. You're a human being. Go out there, take the world by storm. Don't come back here and tell me you failed because you're black. That does not justify anything. And I've been empowered as a person to meet people. I don't care about your skin color, basically. It doesn't matter. It's just the envelope outside. As long as we can speak, we can disagree, but never in violence or hate. Working with UNICEF brought me all the time back to that simple core thing of how people that you are trying to help, if you don't bring them in the equation of the solutions and the problems, you're never going to succeed. That's why AIDS has failed in Africa for so long, because people come from the Western world, they mean well. Is out of meaning well? Is it out of guilt? What it is? Are you helping the African people really take lead in their own life, or are you doing your own PR job, or you want to feel good about yourself? Because the people that you are helping, if you don't see them as a human being, or as human beings with equal rights to you, that you have, that you don't see them as people, you don't talk to them and say, this is the problem you have in here. Tell us how it started. How can we help you? And let's hear from them before you start bringing your program with all your big money and doing that stuff. And that's the power of UNICEF. That's why UNICEF have been around for so long, because we work with local people. I mean, all the offices of UNICEF in Africa, you have local people that go on the field, that the people relate to. They speak the same language. We don't tell people what they have to do. When it comes to vaccination, how do we succeed? We train retired health workers to train other young kids. If they need a motorcycle, they carry the motorcycle. With portable conservation of the vaccination, we provide all the things that is needed to get the vaccination to the farthest people ever. and make sure that every child and every mother that is pregnant have their vaccination. That's how we improve the life of the people. We just don't come and say, we're going to do this for you. Who are you to know what we want? Who are people that talk on our behalf? We don't have a voice. We have a brain, thank you. Don't speak for me. Absolutely not. I refuse that.
Well, that's one thing that obviously listening to you and the passion that you bring irritates you. And it's because you kind of, I'm way up here, I'm telling you, instead of this engagement that you're describing. But there's another piece of this that I know frustrates you as well, which is these people basically identifying and saying, well, this is what this is all about. I mean, you've seen the continent as described, poverty and pain and war, and you know it so much differently than that. And I know that has to get to you.
Oh, it gets to me because it's just news and it's just regular business here, and people don't realize how they are killing the voice of the Africans and the will to trust us to work together. I mean, it's been going on for a long time. Why is the narrative of Africa is told by the one that enslaved us and colonized us? And we cannot get out of that narrative, because if we try to get out of it, we expose how unfair it has been for so long. And on the other hand, we Africans have to tell our story better. We have to come up with a way to tell this story. To tell the world it's not all about misery. It's not all about war. We don't manufacture weapons in Africa. How come you have so much weapons in Africa? Did anyone, it occur to anyone to ask the question, how did Boko Haram have their hand on the weapons? They come from Libya. Who sold those weapons to Gaddafi when he was in power? So it's just like the Western world is always like, oh, it's your choice. We don't have no choice in that. We didn't choose anything. You just give us what you think we need, as long as we are busy killing one another, and you can just take whatever you want out of it, it's okay. So for me, it becomes very annoying and disturbing that individuals that have no interest, economical interest in Africa, care more about the African people than the leaders of those rich countries. It's all about business. Okay, business is important. But today, what kind of business model we have for the world? That put people at the center of the capitalism. Because without consumer, there's no business. I mean, any group, large group, whatever you sell, if you don't buy your product, you don't exist. So how do you make sure that the public that you are appealing to, the one you want to make business with, the poorest out of the poorest, how you lift them out of poverty for them to become your customer for the generation to come?
I want to ask you before we go, though, about your own foundation and the importance of education and your work there. I mean, what inspired you to do it, and the payoff, too? I'm sure it's really gratifying to be doing the type of thing that you're doing.
Well, I started this foundation because when I became a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador in 2002, my first question to UNICEF was, what does that mean? What am I supposed to do? I'm not good at small talk and cocktails. I can't do that. They say, what do you want to do? I say, education, girls' education. So I campaigned for the Millennium Development Goal for primary education throughout pretty much TV and radio recording PSAs. And I remember, I think, in Tanzania, a mother comes to me and said to me, Angelique, we've listened to you. We've put our girls to school. Primary school is pretty much going to end pretty soon. But what is the future hold for them? You know that if they finish primary education and they are not in school, they're going to end up in early marriage, early pregnancy, what we've been through. Education can prevent that. That's when I come up with the idea to start, to be the first to start in secondary education, pretty much. And 2007, Batonga was founded, and we decided that we're going to target the girls that come from extreme poverty background. Orphans of both parents or one, orphans of HIV/AIDS, give them tuition, uniform, books, 1 meal a day, tutoring, and mentoring. Because the mentoring program is really important. When you're not there, somebody has to be the one that reply and answer for the needs in case of emergency before they email me or call me. And that phase is something that make the parent, put the parent at ease. They know who is who. And it's true that when I go to the countries, especially in my country, it struck me that more women come than father until last year when fathers start coming in. And the question was what? We want to see if it was legit, if it was you, not somebody using your name and luring our kids to something else. And them realizing, the father, that educating the girls brings income not only to the village, to the community, but to the family. Educating girls in Africa have endless benefits, especially secondary education is a game changer. That's where you start having leadership building up to the kids, how they see themselves, the confidence they get. Because every time I go, I see them there like, I'm doing this. They have already lined up what they want to do. And that's what I want. I want those girls to be the best possible for their country, leaders in their own business, to take lead in their own life, not just to be at the mercy of decisions made by adults that just want to get rid of them, and to change the policies in their country. Because when a girl is born in Africa, has no identity. You belong to your father. They can marry you off with anyone he wanted to. They can change that. Those girls can transform that. Africa needs the girls' secondary education and tertiary education for our economy to boom, because the women invest better and differently.
Well, you are undoubtedly a change agent. You're a delight to talk to. Thanks so much for stopping by, Fullfront. Coming up next, I'll be joined by another legendary songstress and UNICEF ambassador whose work is making a global impact.